Hey, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Good morning. All right, so all eyes on this CPI data that came in this morning at 8:30 basically shows month over month as expected, but year over year came in a little hotter than expected, 3.8% versus 3.7. That was the CPI core. And prices have also increased. Not a surprise, we can kind of see them. 0.3% month over month to 0.4%. And then for the year, if I remember correctly, because I looked at it earlier, it was 3.2% year over year. So we've got, let's go back to the 12th here. Here we go. All right, we got the core in what was expected versus what this is actually expected, not the real one. Here we go. All right, so we got a little stagflationary backdrop, which is basically, the trend is still decelerating year over year for core CPI, but prices are still firm, if not picking up. Definitely rents are still a part of that. And I actually wanted to talk about that a little bit, which is, I think this summer, the analysis anyway that I've looked at from a few housing folks that are really, really in the weeds is that we really will have some rising inventories, which is very good, right, to get some supply going. And that's going to kind of help loosen up the market a little bit, even if we don't have a big mortgage rate spike of late, which is very good. In fact, it looks like, of course, rate hikes are completely off the table with inflation picking back up. But a little lower or softer mortgage rate will also help loosen up the spring and summer supply of housing. So I'm actually still very bullish housing, even though it is contributing to this very sticky inflation. So we got our sticky inflation report, not expected, not unexpected. Craig's been calling for a reacceleration. I don't think the rate of change is the same, however. And we still have the expectation of, Fed cuts at some point this summer as well, which would feed into that nice housing support that I see coming in. So kind of put it this way, wages have done a good job of keeping consumers in the spending mode. Delta even said in the last month they had, 9 out of 10 of their best sales days on record. People are still spending. You've got inventory that looks very much to be coming back online. And if they do, and if the Fed does cut, you will have a kind of a softening of mortgage rates, which would also help the housing market. Long story short, I think this is going to be an economic backdrop that's bullish into the election. So just wanted to kind of get that out there. All right, so we're having a little resumption here of the Nikkei bounce, and you know why. It's the dollar yen. Let me just show you that real quick. And we've got the CPI figure that came in, which is very much contributing to the softness in gold right now. Let's take a look. So here is exactly what's going on with the dollar yen, right? You can see this this is on a daily, by the way. That's gold is on a daily, but you know me, I like to put these side by side. We've got a Ueda made some comments, which is of course pushing back on the normalization, and that was over in Japan. So we have the dollar yen popping back up to basically 148. I'll show you on my charting, which is a little bit easier, but I want to do this side by side overview. So dollar yen goes up and gold goes down. Plus, this is continuous contract, day, kind of same thing. It's beautiful, right? I mean, we kind of also expected gold had to at some point do a little shake and shimmy. Wasn't on a hot payroll number on Friday. It's on a hot CPI number on Tuesday. Either way, that's exactly what would cause this to kind of retreat a little bit. So we've got gold having a little shake and shimmy down, dollar yen, the exact opposite. Look at the patterns that are forming, right? This is that morning star reversal. That's called an evening star reversal. I would expect continuous contract to come down to, 2146 area. And I would expect the dollar yen to move higher into that 148.4 area. Pretty much, I'll take a little, let me just go back to, hold on. There it is. Okay, pretty much what we've got going on with right here, this dollar yen came all the way down to 14658, right? And I said, I don't think it's going to take out this low. In other words, I still think it's going to make a higher low than this print right here. So that print was, 145.90. And this is the 200, which is sloping up, right? We're not talking big dramatic move higher, but it's definitely sloping up. So the dollar yen dumped right into it. Now it picked up a lot of speed. I thought it would have had a little bounce here, but nope, sliced right through the 55, the 100 and the 200, and then got supported on this trend line on the 200 area, bounced into the 100 just last night on Ueda's comments of, again, don't get, basically pushing back a little bit. Don't get ahead of yourself, blah, blah, blah. Meaning to the bond vigilantes. So we have a little resumption here of a bounce into the 8-day. That's not a surprise. It's really going to be interesting if we can get back above the 10-week, right? Because we still have that, black line of death up here, which means they're not allowed to go up. If we get up and above 152, it's a whole new ball game, but we're not there yet. So snaking around here, right, is pretty normal stuff. Anyway, this is what's happening. We had a little bounce after hours, and then the continuation again. Ueda in Japan, Bank of Japan chief. So that matters to how gold is going to perform, and yen and bonds. They're going to, of course, it's CPI a little hotter and all that jazz, but just take a look at that picture. And then you've got, yen via the ETF is getting tapped back down. It had a really strong candle, and now it's kind of going sideways, just like with the dollar yen and TLT. We got right up into that 96.33 perfectly, and we're getting tapped back down to this 94.84, today. But this is the same idea, right? This is a sloping downward 200 versus a sloping upward 200. So all they're doing is shimmying around the 200. I know I keep talking about this, but it is my baseline bet going into this year, right? From November, when I had my November 9th, really, US dollar is done. No, US dollar has likely peaked, quote unquote. That would pull 10-year and dollar lower, and then we would go squiggly for 2 quarters. I had this on my agenda for 2 quarters at least. So this is really working. We can go up, we can go down. Maybe we come back down to this Keltner channel, 3.9. Would not be surprised at all. Again, this is the 10-year TNX. If we get above, I'm sorry, let me put this another way. If we break back below this 4, come back down to 3.9, seriously, that just would not surprise me. And make it back up to basically 98 before we get tapped down. I just want to write that down. Okay, so we got the 10-year. Would not be surprised if we make it back down to 3.9, and TLT makes it back up to 98. All right. Anyway, let's go back to the map. So we have the CPI number, quote unquote, out of the way. We know Main Street inflation is more than sticky, right? And it compounds year over year. Those prices are not going back down until we have trouble or consumers push back. We know that the rate of change, which is the Wall Street measure, is decelerating, right? From 9.1% to 3.1%. The point is, it doesn't have anything to do with our actual grocery bills or rent, medical, auto insurance, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, we know what's going on here with the way Wall Street measures versus the way that we actually experience inflation. Okay, there's a difference. I always have to kind of parse that out. We know why the Nikkei's bouncing. We know why VIX is coming back in with, this hikes are completely off the table and cuts are still floating around there for summer. Crude has a little softness, not a surprise. I'll take a look at nat gas this morning, although it's not really my my interest because I think it's just so much supply for the I don't even know what you want to call it. It's just a widowmaker. But here we go. Let's go look at the heat map of the macro and such. This morning we had a very nice little resurgence here of a excited move that just kind of got unwound in the Qs this hour because I'm on a 2-hour pre-market. At the same time, the dollar is staying a little firm, all right, which is not a surprise because we've already come down to the yellow line, shot below it, came right back up, digested, that got about above of the red line, and now we're moving back up. I don't think we're going to get anywhere excited here in this dollar. I really don't. You know how I feel about this. It's short the rip for the dollar. It's short the rip for bonds. That's just how it is. But it definitely put a hitch in the giddy long for gold and the dollar yen, all that jazz. So let me get rid of this. Come on, there we go. So here's our first level of support, and we're coming down into likely the second level, which is this kind of 21.5. So if you were really excited about miners and slow to enter or exited too quickly, you were going to get another chance. So that's a we, by the way, because I missed the memo on how strong GDX was going to be. Okay. So gold is a little soft. Dollar's a little bit strong. I don't expect that to last. But I definitely see an area of support about 21.42 for continuous contract. And let's see if we can be patient here with this dump that we had in the Qs, right? You know this chopping about. While that has been coming back down, both in Qs and Spider, gold has been up, 9 straight days, and today it rests. It's okay. All right, so we're just kind of hugging this line. That's 439 for the Qs. And we're hugging this line. Nope, there's no line. We're hitting our head up on this line, which is 514. So if we get back above 514, it's very bullish. So if we get above 514, it's bullish. And let's go look at SPX. Yesterday, since we don't have pre-market hours, and we have a little bounce here with the 10-year. We have a little dump here with oil, but it's just not interesting at all. Oil is just not in play right now. All right, so here's SPX from yesterday. We did get back above this 51.11, and that's all we did. All we did was fill that gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that line because now we have filled that gap down and we just sat here. Very, very uninteresting. But we had some good chases, right? But we'll see if there's any follow through today. That's the tricky part. All right. So I would say you've got another kind of level to get and stay above, which is this 51.30. Very, very similar, right, to 514. So above 51.31, 51.31 for SPX. Anything above 514 for SPY and 5131 for SPX is bullish. Again, we're still in the buy the dip campaign. So there's just, weakness, choppiness, and then there's just crash up mode. I don't think we're going to have a crash up until after March. But I have to keep an open mind, and we're still bullish into that 5,200. So, all right. We've almost hit it, right? Like right up here. Hold on, let me just do this real quick. We came so dang close. Look at that, 51.90. That is just exciting. All right. So the problem is that's also a massive call wall. Massive call wall. And in the meantime, we are chopping violently while gold and, of course, Bitcoin is broken out. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and the growth value. All right. Yep. So it's petering out for momentum. In other words, momentum is fading, but this indicator is still bullish. It's flattening out, but it has not rolled over. Not anything. We've got the Bitcoin halving, whenever that is, sometime in April. And then we also have Saylor, who's going to sell a whole bunch by April 26th. So Jeffrey says, be on, definitely take care. I'm pretty sure he said the 26th. Let me go check that. He says we basically have 40 days for Bitcoin to work, and then all bets are off. Let me go date. There's a date of conversion. I know it's roughly around that times 46 days. 26th of April. Yep, I got it right. I wanted to make sure because 40, anyway, we have another 46 days before it is safe to short Bitcoin, says Jeffrey. Basically, his stock option plan ends on the 26th of April. And then Jamie Dimon was also out with an article this morning saying he sees it more around 42,000 after the halving, whatever you call it. There's something else that had to do with the 26th, but I can't remember. All right, so April 26th, that is 46 days away. Make hay while the sun shines. All right, so yesterday on the growth value rotation, we did have a rollover. And this is that kind of head and shoulders formation, which basically says value can outperform growth, but we have to really, really follow through. I think we'll come back down to this level. It's definitely showing that, but we, pace yourself. It's definitely a bounce candidate this morning until potentially the underside, and then it will give way. That's my expectation. Again, here's oil, just not much to do there. All right, Archon is back on the 21st of March. I am out this Friday and Monday, traveling back in the room on Tuesday. All right, so here's your dollar bounce. It's, pretty typical expected technical bounce, but nothing really of size. And here is the T-note future for bonds, both 2 and 10 side by side, to show you that we will go fill this gap. We will go fill this gap. The question is, when, not if. We had our lovely head and shoulders. I had that really nice setup on February 2nd for this lower move. We hit it. We didn't even come into a really strong area of support, but we definitely came and gapped up. And now we're soggy into that resistance. This is resistance. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But that's still my baseline bet. The curve will continue to invert. All right, pre-market. We still have a move higher. You can see pre-market for the Qs were 439.50. We closed at 437.50. That's $2. We'll see if it holds. Ooh, that's much better. But in the meantime, cumulative volume is still, this is on a 2-hour yesterday, not pre-market. Cumulative volume is still increasing. So I'm looking for this to reverse. It still has not. NYSE volume has not reversed. The Qs, NASDAQ volume has not reversed. Again, we can't get a short swing really moving. I'm not talking about intraday or a few days. I'm talking about weeks, all right? A short that lasts for weeks. We can't get it going until we get some net selling in both NASDAQ and NYSE. And right now I don't see it for more than just like a day. It's not the same thing. So I'm looking for a pattern. We don't have one yet. All right, dollar yuan, China, looks like it's going to roll over. So keep that one in mind. By the way, this is on a weekly. Dollar yen has already rolled over and it's basically bounced into resistance. So on the currency front, there might be something more coming with the dollar yuan. That's a really nice rollover right now, waiting to happen. And the 10-year yield for Japan's government bonds are percolating higher, which is how they're doing it. So the dollar yen is kind of rolling over a little bounce, and their 10-year yield is moving higher. Remember, they had a cap, right? Well, it used to be 0.25, 0, negative, all that. But then they doubled it, and then they doubled it again. So right now, this is the cap, and it is heading up again. Their 10-year yield, have the cap. Will they remove it? It's heading up there again. It's like a little test. All right, little bounce. Yeah, so this is definitely a little bounce, but not yet of conviction. Ugh, that's a sloppy bounce. We got a really, really sloppy bounce. I'd say gold is the little pullback to 21.47 is probably a good chase short, and then we'll see. And then we've got no credit spreads are fine. This is the inversion. I'm still expecting 0.60 for the 2 and 10 year yield curve. There's the bounce. So remember I said this trend line for my dollar yield ratio is definitely, you can't see it, but I took a picture of it yesterday. It did tag and it is bouncing. It just means that yields and dollar are bouncing. But I'm not so confident that it's going to get going. Right? So, I mean, this was July, August, September, October, until we got into the November right here. And then we got the November Fed pause, Yellen, Yahtzee, you know what the market did. And then since this year, dollar has been moving and yields have been moving pretty much with the market. It's a little odd. It's not in, you know, this is the market, by the way, SPX, but it's inverse. So you can see how it kind of correlated, right? How it's now divergent. I think this is going to bounce a little bit more, and then I think it's going to break. So I think the dollar and yields will soften again. Anyway, here's our market. If you have any questions for me, hit me up in Zoom Q&A. Okie doke. And I've got Michael and Rithika in Zoom chat. Archana, like I said, returns on the 21st. Tiffany is about. And we'll see what we get for any follow through with, oh, no, that still looks pretty good. Let's see how it goes. I love it. I love this. This is so great. Hold on. Okay, Boeing, definitely. That's really like in such trouble here. Bros and Cisco and Oracle. We have to talk about that first, and I have no idea why my alerts aren't going off. And not Bros and Cisco. This is what Archana is trading. She literally just popped in. So she's looking 32.42. Cisco. Oh, that's actually, you know, it's trying. Anything above $50 is very good for Cisco, by the way. Very good if it can stay above 60. And Intel is very good above, well, it's kind of chunky here. It's trying. But let's call it 45. No, I'm going to actually give it a higher. If we can get and stay above 45.34 on a weekly, Intel will have a look. But until then, it's a chop fest. Got to get above 45.35. Let's do that as a potential long. And then what I want to talk about was Oracle. Okay, so I apologize because I was reading about this, talking about this a month ago, that this was one of the AI plays, right? So completely forgot in the earnings drama that of course, they would talk AI up a storm. So what I want to show you is, do you see up here? This is the high back in June of 2023 and September of 2023. And then they had a massive expansion candle lower. 50-day really held. They got above, and now it's like, what's going to happen with earnings? Well, pre-market, you can't see this. I'm going to take the one over here, which is my weekly time frame. That's day, that's hour, and I have a particular reason for doing that. Look at this 27.42. So at 127.42, it literally was above. So this is the short level. If you feel comfortable, and I'm not, you know, really high conviction on this because it's Oracle, because it's in the AI sweet spot, and we still have probably another month of real, you know, drama. But anyway, the point is, it literally perfectly pre-market, tag you're it, and then came back and broke. So 127.42 in a nutshell, it's bullish above. We're talking blue skies. And it's bearish below. So it's already starting out bearish. Anything below 127.42 is literally a gap fill potential. Now, I don't know where it's going to land. This is obviously a big gap up, 10%, and its landing spot is about 117.5, and it's not falling apart, okay? But I'm just saying that's literally what you're looking for, is if it can hold, it's bullish above. If not, it's bearish. And I think it's a little bit too much drama right now going on to really get too excited about it. All right, let me go get my, so hit me up in Zoom Q&A, and then Boeing, let's take a look. This is a crazy, messy, look at this. It's like hitting. All right, Boeing's a mess. I mean, just a hot mess. Hot mess. So there's just no touch on this. This is really broken. Is it in some support area right here at 186.48? Uh-huh. But it's a gap down. I thought it was actually, never mind. And then it's a gap down below the Keltner channel. Oh, no, really. Look at how it's sitting on a little bit of support here. I don't even know what that is. Hold on. No, not that one. That's 2020. That's all I got. 186.5, if it can hold. Oh, 120. Are you short to 120? Okay, wait. My gosh. No, 176.86 first. That's very, very, very strong quarterly. So we would have to break 177 to really get going. Yeah, so I already did this one. That's right. So we had a double bottom, got back above. That was the only reason why this was bullish. If we could get and stay above 177, we did. It took forever. It was boring. It had, a fake breakout, fast failure, retested the 177. And then this happened from November 1st, which was liquidity in the market. And everything looks like this. And it gapped up and it kept going. And then it went, oh, wait a minute. It's Boeing. And then it came back down. So yes, I like 177, but after that, we got to break that puppy. Okay. All right. Zoom Q&A is for Q&A. Just ask me and but give me a time frame. Please, please, please. Michael reminds we have a 10-year auction at 1 p.m. Yesterday's was not so hot. Yesterday's was not so hot. I will tell you on your Boeing, I should say, lots of puts are coming in, but further out, like a year from now, like leaps. They're going out a year. There's a put writer on Home Depot at the open. I saw that this morning. They're partnering. Oh God, I forgot what they're partnering on. This is going to bug me. I scanned the news. I saw Home Depot, forgot to grab like in my head. What? Doesn't matter. It's a trend long. You know how I feel about Home Depot. It's doing fine. Here's the 10-week. It did have a little shake and bake. Not such a drama. Needs to get back above 375. 375. Okay, that's Home Depot. 10-year auction. Let me just take a look. Whoa, baby. All right, so the 10-year hit the 96.33 and coming right back to 94.84, which was my pre-market tag. Again, 94.84 is support because it's the 200-day and it's just this kind of, gap fill area of the channel. Okay. Or I said Oracle had earnings. It's holding. Nothing to do with that. Wait. J&J is consolidating but looks bullish because it's a drug manufacturer. Okay. Pfizer had popped up, got to the 55, and now it's softening, but this is a little bit more productive. I'm not a big fan, but it is trying to come back up. BMY was definitely the better horse, but the problem is it's going to hit its head into a descending 200. Yeah, that. All right, let me go through my ETF list and my sectors that are getting hit. Sorry, my alerts that are getting hit. So NVIDIA is not really holding this bounce. IGV is mostly Microsoft above the 10-week. Here's Microsoft at 409 again, holding the 10-week by its, it's holding. It's holding. BABA's another one. Looks, it's trying to form. We got nothing here. Yesterday was pretty slim picking. So I spent a lot of time last night going through like 100 charts trying to find the ones that I like potentially setting up. So I want to go over that. But I want to first see what's going on this morning of any interest or size. Twilio's got to get above the 200. Qs are flat. Netflix is flat. I mean, relatively flat. Remember, this is still the 438 support. What the? We filled that gap. There's your island reversal. We filled that gap. Yeah, we're fading really quickly, aren't we? Okay, island reversal, we tagged above 51.40 bullish, otherwise not. I think that looks like a nice little bear flag that's going to come back down and break 51.11 early. but it still looks good. Apple did not get through the 173.79, and it's not a surprise. We break 171, we're going to go back and tag this 167 area. It's too early right now, but this is the level on the intraday you want to break. 171.32. You can see it on the daily as well. It's a little bit too early to chase it, but once this breaks, we can have a nice setup, into next week for this 167 area. 167. Let me see if that's the 100. Now 168 is the see this purple line? Yeah. Once we broke the 55, by the way, the 50, we will go tag this at some point. This will get tagged with potentially an overshoot to 165. So I still see this happening. This was just kind of like a stay of execution, but I still see that happening. Yeah, Apple's definitely weak sauce. AMD was my highest probability with Meta, and these still look great. So they are chase shorts that continue to work. Beautiful evening star reversal. Opened up below 202.64. Couldn't even get above it pre-market and dump. Here we go. 193 is the first price target. And then 185 is the second. AMD is working great. Great. Very nice. You need to protect on Carvana. You need to protect on CELH if you're long. You need to protect on Amazon. Right? Amazon is okay, but it could break that 171. CELH is absolutely, one of my really SMCI type looking charts, but you still need to take care. And Carvana is the meme stock that if it breaks 76, it's going to come back down, and play in that little channel, which I'm not excited about. So protect all three of those swing longs. Carvana, Celsius, and Amazon. Am I bullish all three of them? Yes. But you got to protect when we're having this kind of shake and shimmy. All right, gold. Yep, coming back down a little bit. 9 days. I mean, look at this. This is beautiful. It's okay. It's okay. You wanted to get some of these GDX plays a little, lower. Let's see how this does at the 200. And yes, unfortunately, silver is also coming back down to 22. XME also doesn't like it at all. It's got lots of miners in there. So look at it as an opportunity instead of... All right, Tesla's just nasty. All right, so I have no love for this one because it did this. Oh my God, first of all, perfect tag of 263. Really only had 200 as a price target. It blew through it and then bounced into it and then rolls over with this huge expansion candle exactly at resistance, which is the 10-week, right? This is my best friend. And the 200-week, which happened to be $200. Anyway, the point is, what my price target is for this, 167.5. We're still going there. It's amazing how incredibly ugly that stock is. All right, so 167.5 with maybe an overshoot to 165. Oops, I'm on the wrong one here. $167.5 still in play. Meta bouncing. Let's talk about that. So all right, so we've got this kind of resumption higher in Dutch Brothers. That's an Archna. Cisco looks very good above that 50. What else was she trading again? You got a short. She's already signed out, but she popped in. Oh, and CMG possibly short. So she just popped in from her vacay. AMD, nicest looking. Really nicest looking short still is for the semis is AMD. NVIDIA just waiting for it to roll over. That's a baby NVIDIA stock, GSIT. I'm just looking at the semis that have, yeah, this is the most gorgeous one. Like we're really, really going to come into a little bit of support at 945, but otherwise it looks good. Oh, SMH and SOX. Yeah, remember how I said SMH is a better vehicle? At least I like it better than SOX. SMH has 25 of the largest semiconductor companies in the US, but it is cap weighted. And NVIDIA makes up its largest weighting, literally 26, 27%. SOX is a differently weighted component or index, not as volatile. And the options aren't as fun. Fun is another word for volatile. So anyway, that's why I like SMH over SOX. Anyway, they're both kind of like hanging out here. Haven't really done anything wrong. All right, so we have SPY sideways. Looks like an evening star reversal, but hasn't given up. Again, we need 5,111 for SPX to actually break back down. We're not there yet. Not there yet. We have Qs already turning red. That's 430 as a price target for the Qs. If we can get this, this like right here, right? It's filled the gap, 441. It's come back inside, 439. And now you can see that's the next price target. But really, it's going to be this 429.85 or 430. So I still see 430. Not right now. Right now, it would just be 434.65 and then 430. Tesla dumpage continues. Chase that puppy into 167.5. It's gorgeous. Okay, Oracle may not be able to withstand this boring market, but it is right? It's like right there. That's impressive. Who wanted to chase JD yesterday? Good job. I think that was you, Namita. Oh my God, excellent job. These are still, though, very, very chaotic, wild, right? So it's more of a kind of hold your nose, but they are definitely coming up off the ground. FXI above 23.43 looks great. Baba's kind of slow. ARM has to break that 118 area. Ooh, there's a little shake and bake here. Yeah, they've got a lockup period. I just don't really have a great feel for ARM, honestly. Nope, not my thing. SoftBank, 10% available. Wicked NVIDIA, SoftBank manipulated. I stay away from those. I can see them, as bullish and all that, but it just doesn't interest me. I guess I'm at heart more of a value shopper. But I really appreciate, you all think I'm like short Bitcoin and I'm not. But I've tried twice and I have gotten bounced out. I'm very patient. That's quite fine, but it's really nice. I actually got a client this morning and he said, "Thank you, Samantha. Really appreciate the guidance during this melt up talking about Bitcoin because he knows I'm not interested in it, but I absolutely can read it." And he said, "It's been crazy. I think if not for you, I would have missed at least half of it due to being conservative." I totally see Bitcoin as a speculative asset, just like I saw GameStop as a speculative asset, right? In 2020 and 2021, but I have just no, you know how I am. I still think it's a complete Ponzi. Anyway, I'm big on, anyway, he goes on, it's like really nice. I'm like, okay, good. So I haven't scared people completely out of it. They have this ability to do their own due diligence, right? And they know that Bitcoin is for those in need or for those in greed. And right now it's making folks money. So make hay while the sun shines. I got that. Anyway, we still have the dollar a little bit firm. gold a little bit soggy. And then we have this absolute rejection at 439 down, rejection at 515, 514 down. Yields are a little bit firmer, but I'm not really seeing any, what do you call it? Big selling yet. So let me just go take a look real quick. It's starting to, though. All right, so I've done the dollar yen review first thing, and how this is obviously bouncing into that 148.4 most likely, and this gold is retreating back down to 21.46 most likely. We definitely have the bounce on the dollar and yields. I just don't think it's going to hold. I'm not quite sure how high it's going to advance, but I just don't think it's going to hold. For NVIDIA, it's basically this 861. If you get 861 breakage, you're going to see 823. So NVIDIA, if then, it's if then. We break 861, we're going to see 823. But gold and silver is still fine. Liquidity in the market is still fine. Yeah. Oracle's a little soggy. Oh, well, it's about time. So Archer Daniel Midlands, I had someone say that we're really hurt by this. They were long, and then there was an accounting scandal, but it was only in one division of the entire company, which represented about $17 million. And I said, be patient. I don't think this is going to stick. I think this will get bid back up. It was an overreaction. They sell first and ask questions later. I actually think this is going to get bid back up. So it hasn't done anything. I literally just got an alarm alert on it because why? It's got to get back above. Look at this. It's got to get above 57.76. This is also the Keltner. It's also the 10-week. You know how I am. It's got to get above. So remember how Tesla, I said, yeah, you can chase it to 182, which was right here, but that's Keltner channel resistance. And look at that. Boom. It's down. It's going to be down, $10. So this is why I like Keltner. If ADM can get back above that 10-week, which is also the Keltner, it will have a nice gap to fill. And it's got 2.4 million shares that have just come in this morning. So, some people will kind of say, oh, I'm going to sell some puts on this. Point is, it still has to get above. So it does look very productive. It has, where's my, hold on, where's this? What is this time frame? Oh, there it is. I'm looking at the wrong. So this is the channel you're in. Keep it above 54 and get it above, let's call it 58. All right, we're completely flat with Oracle. What's going on with Costco? Oh, it's bouncing at the 10-week. Yeah, exactly, right? So look at this. Literally 7-11 right here. It's where it's bouncing is exactly the 10-week. So yeah, this is bouncing into resistance, but that was a very big reversal, right? Bull trap. It literally was a breakdown. Anything 756 stop, chase it short. It broke 751, which was that gap. That was the daily gap. Right through the 21, overshot, and now it's bouncing. It'll probably resemble ANF right now, right? So Abercrombie did the same type of thing. It sliced through the 21-day, and now it's having a little bounce. I don't trust it. Hasn't even tagged the 10-week yet. There's still a lot there to short, honestly. CPNG, the Amazon of South Korea, I believe, is still trying to get above this 100, which is very important. RNA looks fabulous. So I don't know, it's a little bit tougher because it's more of a stock than an option, at least in my humble opinion. I'm not so crazy about the options. Okay, I don't like the options at all, but I like this chart. So this has really been a nice kind of continuation. Then it had earnings, it digested, it got back above this 2080, which as you can see is very nice. So RNA still, that was an early recommendation from Alexander. EOLS has a little work to do. That's another one, right? It had earnings. It has this huge shake and bake. It's not really fully safe yet, but as long as it stays above 1281, it still looks fabulous. DXCM, another Alex recommendation, has broken out and it is stabilizing. I just think a little patience with those, just a little. Sting is a trend trade. And I know it's confusing. Why is this doing so well? But it is. So here's a gorgeous bullish engulfing with a gap above. My favorite, repeat, favorite candlestick formation. Anything that's a gap is like, I'm in. So it is digesting pretty well. It hasn't done anything wrong. Why the heck is Allie doing well? Huh. Where's Tim to ask about credit financial services? GPS was a swing idea. So I didn't do anything with it, but it's in a kind of a retail bucket of trades that look good, right? At one time Nordstrom did, and then luckily I got, bounced out here. I got stopped out before earnings. That's fine. HBI is in that list where I still think it has some time, but even in a recession, you need underwear. So HBI looks good, and Crocs, that is a swing position, right? That's doing awesome. Anyway, HBI is an idea. It hasn't quite gotten, there for me yet. Crocs is swing long, and then this other idea that I'm watching is GPS with a nice scoop pattern, and now it's really, really doing it again. Right? So this is the first thing is okay, fine. It's going to go back up to 2177, but it's got to stay above 2177. So I'm really like, I don't want to waste my time if it comes right back down. It has to get and stay above 2177. And then this can just scoop higher. What's the one with a massive short interest? Is it GES? Or is it GPS? No, it's GES. Yeah, no, this is the candle of craziness. By the way, it's still working, but it's way, way too thin. Same thing. It's a better stock than options. GPS, at least, you really have a nice support level. This is it. It has to stay above, let's call it 19. I'll go over that list because why not, right? 1986 to be specific, but it's GD is still doing fine. Raytheon, I'm not excited about Raytheon. I still like GD. I think it's still the best one. All right, let's go back. We have got no movement in SPY. It's still positive. It's still above, 5111, but take a look at that crazy, what do you call it, Bollinger Band that's starting to form. Small caps, a little weak today. Just go look at some indicators. Hold on. Oh my God. Like, look at this. What is there to short? This is NYSE composite. Freak of nature. It does not correlate directly to IWM, but I still have to look. The index value IWV is closer. Micro cap is all that meme junk, and it's suffering right now. Yeah, so careful on your Carvana. If you're holding your nose on Beyond, IBM is fine. Okay, so Yeah, nothing there. Okay, so all right, this is also in the swing idea list, which again, you can't date all the boys, but look at this thing. This is Colgate Palmolive, and if you recall, I had recommended when it got here, there was a whole bunch of May. Maybe Micah remembers. I'm pretty sure it was 8250 calls. Big tranche of 8250 calls for May. Let's see if how my memory is. It kind of stuck out. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yep, I remember this. It was 8250 calls. And it was right when we got up to this kind of 82 level, beautiful bullish engulfing. Did anybody take that? You're doing well because they were like $4. It's boring, I know, but look at the IV. Pretty low IV. 8250 calls was pretty much at the money, and it's just continued really nicely. And now we're in blue skies. Yellow. That's a gorgeous save of, look at this. This is Colgate Palmolive. Nobody cares, but look, it's right here. 100 week has held it. Boring earnings on, a month away. And this puppy has just broken above all-time highs, and it's in blue skies. And is this missing data or is this a gap? What the heck is that? That's the end of the year. That's the beginning. Yeah, January, February, March. Huh. Bizarre. Isn't that weird how it's kind of like nothing's there? Anyway, long story short, congrats if you did that one. It is very pretty. You know what to do. Keep it above 86.41. Simple. Really that simple. Okay. So CL, congrats. GPS, if then. I don't think Twilio's dead, but it just has no energy. I'm going to go over a few lists, just going through questions too. So yeah, pretty calm, really nicely calm, relatively, all things considered. GDX coming back down to exactly the the 200. TLT is right here, the 200. There's no VIX in the building. We've got rejection at 35. Couldn't yet get to get above the 10 week. We've got time. I'm not sure why American Airlines dumped. Okay. So Meta is bouncing right into that trend line. So we had a nice big bearish engulfing, and then we had a gap down that kept going. It was a great chase yesterday into the 21-day. And now we bounced right into the 8-day. And they are definitely trying to buy calls up the kazoo. Here's all your March. Calls. Right now they're buying. But stop is kind of it, right? It was yesterday, the stop was 500, right? If you were going short. Now the stop's going to have to be a little bit different because this is the gap down. If we get a resumption higher, it's going to go fill that gap. So depending on what you want to do, if you're still short, we get above 497, we're going to run to that 504 area. So far, we don't have a lot of energy to do so, but just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so I've gone over some scans. We're having a little bounce in PDD. Let that work a little bit higher before reshorting it. Google is a nice little continuation play. Looks very much headed for that 139, or I would say the 55. 55 is 139.73. So let's call it 140. Yeah, Google long still looks good from yesterday. Little bounce. All right, so I've gone over, I don't think, I got some little bit of that never triggered, still hasn't triggered. SPY is flat as a pancake. Really, not doing anything exciting. Nope, nope, nope. And volatility is not existent, so the market is still bullish. See how this is inverse VIX, right? It's green. Can't short the market when it's green. Nope, just can't. It's one of my cardinal rules. If SVXY is green, don't short the market. So the problem is we're hitting our head on this kind of 109 area. Tag, you're it. Tag, you're it. Woo. Okay, got above. Nope, came right back in. Tag, you're it. Above is bullish. Rejection here is not. Really, really, really tough to short the market if this is green. The question is, how high is this going to go since it's hitting its head right here on that 109 area? Maybe that trend line. That's not so important. It was kind of good to kind of keep it okay. Above is bullish, below is bearish. We're not even to it yet. Yeah, Boeing looks like death. There's no other word, really. Sorry, it's a terrible word. I should take that back. It's headed to 177. Let's just put it that way. Tesla, still weak sauce. Jet. Okay, so is this LUV? Oh, ooh, definitely a nasty day. Worse since COVID, I just saw. Ugh, nasty. All right, so we have, which is weird because Delta just said they had, 9 of their 10 best-selling days and in the past month, and then these guys are falling over. So it's kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news, potentially. Do not know. Okay. Depends on your time frame for IPO. So I'm not quite sure when you say short the dollar yen, I go over this every day, multiple times. So you got to give me more than that. Like, what's your time frame? Are you chasing? Is this a swing? Is this a trend? What's your deal? Because I just said this is doing the shake, right? There's the, sloping higher 200 day. We're now in that whole like chop area. We probably get to 148.50 again. And then we'll see what happens. Right now, this is it. You got this little resumption while gold is rolling over. And it continues to roll over. So you got a nice little, what was that contract, continuous contract level I gave? Yeah, dollar, this is SPX. This is not the one I wanted. It's still bullish. Oh, come on. Yeah, they're not selling. They're not selling. Where's gold? Yeah, no, this is percolating higher. Strong, strong, strong. Market does not want to sell off. Nope, market. Here it is. Yeah, sorry. This is as this moves higher into 148.4, continuous contract moves down into 21.46. That's it. So I don't know your time frame for dollar yen, but that's it. That's what I just saw. And I'm going over the same stuff that I went over before. This is a nice short. But chase duration, but if you're trend long, you're fine. If you're swing long, you're fine. Google is only a chase into that 139, 140. Microsoft is the same old, same old. Anything above 40, no, sorry. 409 above is bullish, below is bearish. Amazon bouncing nicely. Meta, yeah, that short is not going to work if it's a tight time frame because it's headed right back up. See 504, 503.60, that's going to go tag, and then we'll see. NVIDIA call skew is hot again, which means they're ramping up calls again in NVIDIA. And as I said, this is tough, shake and bake, but there's no way to short the market with SVXY green. None. Not going to happen. Just not going to happen. Don't even try. All right, Lufax coming back in a little bit. Whoever had Devon, Nog off the lows, good job. It's coming right into the 200-day now. XLE sitting back above. Remember, 84.40 had to get above. It did slowly but surely, but that's still not really compelling. And then XME is getting hit on gold and miners and all that. Sad but true. I still think they'll get supported, but crowd is still green. ZS, no. Just looking around. Yeah, I want to go through those in just a minute. Oh, I forgot completely. AAP. Oh, thank you for reminding me. So, Advanced Auto Parts has been absolutely not like the others, right? So Advanced Auto Parts is one that I really liked a little while ago here when it got back above 60.79, did really great job, started moving higher, and then of course fell apart until just recently. And a few weeks ago, it did this candle, which was dramatic, followed through to break out, and now it just hit practically 5% on activist involvement by Third Point. They're going to take 3 board seats. Why? Because this doesn't look like Orly, which is a trend long stock for a while and is gorgeous, right? Used car values are, they're expensive. So people are keeping their cars longer, but this one hasn't executed. This would be a gorgeous reversal. Perhaps it's got shorts. I actually didn't look into that yet, but I did see the news that Third Point is getting involved. The problem that I have with this is technical. Technically speaking, see this 50? That's exactly where it just hit its head. And where's the 200? Yeah, that, right? Look at this 200. Ugh. Like this is going to take a while. It's just going to take a while for that to flatten out. The 200 will never, ever, ever do a V. It just doesn't work like that. So this has to go down and then it can move higher. But yes, this is a gorgeous chart. Think Carvana. Remember how this was kind of down here? Gorgeous chart, took forever, right? And then it took one more dip and then it exploded on earnings. That's the same kind of thing. I think AAP is going to probably, it's done going down, but I think this is going to be a while digesting here. That's all. But it looks good. Microsoft above the 10-week. Oracle still hanging out, not too shabby. It's, not falling apart. It's an AI beneficiary. GPS looks very good above this 2177. Next would be 23 and then 24. I haven't really done anything more on this one. Let's just do this. It's got to get above 22, but then it's going to hit right here about 24. Oh, this is the other one, CHK. It's trying, right? This is a nice bullish engulfing. If it stays above 83, it should push a little bit higher, but it's still in that category of trying. Might be a little early. All right, so K-Web is still pushing up into the 200-day. Amazon is now pushing above a little intraday resistance level. So we still have rotation, nothing. The CL. Okay, so there was IP coming up off the bottom, still working. There's AAP still coming up off the bottom. Trying anyway. RMD, it's trying. It's not, again, it needs to get above. All right, so Abercrombie, let's go over a few things. Abercrombie is still a really great short. A little bounce, but I don't think it's going to hold. Costco, really nice bounce to fill that gap. Now looking for it to peter out. I know that's a strong call because it's Costco and it's sitting on that beautiful, beautiful 10-week, but I still have my strong suspicions, just like I think Abercrombie may be done going up. NVIDIA calls just get slammed nonstop. Very, very tough to short this one. AMD looks a little easier to short. SMCI also has the same kind of meme treatment as does ARM. So those are not my favorite unless you have a very specific time frame, and then I'm happy to look at it. IBM is now in the AI world, and so is Oracle. Both of them are doing really well post earnings. I'm not sure about this Sava. I would ask Alexander. Well. 3M just got a resumption of a bounce. That's quite the squeeze. And it's right into the 200 resistance, which means right here, it's got to get above 100. If it can stick that landing above 100, that would be very, very, very productive. Just like AMD is trying, ADM is trying, excuse me. So ADM is definitely trying to get above that 58. And 3M is definitely trying to get above 100. Okay, Web still looks good. FXI, all of that. Yeah, that's another kind of meme one that's very, very hard to short. SVXY, until we get a turnaround, there isn't really a market short. GPS looks really good. Pretty strong so far. Market's not showing any kind of sector rotation weakness, right? VIX is still on the ground. Anything below 14.49 is market bullish. We tagged, got above that 15.69, came right back in sharply, which is basically that overshoot, came right back in. So market's still bullish. SVXY is green. Really, really no go. Jets is rolling over strongly with Boeing. Usually we get tan pushback when we have an interest rate move. And right now, oops, we have interest rates up and tan down. It's just a fascinating correlation, but it works. All right, so VVIX coming back down. Let's see. Yeah, perfect. 200. Yeah, not going to get too much energy here until this retreats. Sitting on 94.84. IPO still looks really good above the 10-week. Small caps, you got to give a lot of room to, right? And it is 209, comes back in, but it's still above the 10-week. Anyway, XRT, a little bit more soggy, but it's still above the 10-week, et cetera, et cetera. So, and XBI is the one that definitely came back in, including CRISPA, right back down to the 10-week. So let's see if it gets supported here. This is the 10-week, beautiful tag, but unfortunately pullback. Probably the last in, first out type of plays. Boeing and Tesla continue to look very weak, but we got a little shimmy here intraday for Tesla. Strongest on my scan I've gone through. And then, of course, the ones we have looked at recently that are still doing well. ANF short's fine. Silver needs to digest. XME is getting hit the hardest. Took some partial profits, that's good. And gold is coming back down, but I think there are going to be opportunities again. Crocs is doing fine. Carvana, careful of that 76. Don't let that break. Like I said, small caps, XBI, this is for a multi-quarter type of rotation. I'm patient with that. I think they're fine. Caterpillar has some pullback, which I'm not crazy about, but it's also above the 10-week as we're, the market is digesting sideways, but that's definitely not where we want to get back below. But this is unfortunately the thing. This is the phase we're in right now into March OPEX and end of March. Choppy, just choppy sideways. Disney sideways, hasn't done anything wrong on a weekly chart, but it also hasn't gotten back above 113. So we have a lot of chop. Theta decay killer, depending on how you structure your options. But for right now, the stocks based on the underlying haven't done badly at all. Amazon also sideways, right? But they haven't broken the 10-week. They haven't fallen apart. So all of those are still bullish trends. You can see Amazon above the 10, Disney above the 10, Caterpillar above the 10, IPO above the 10, XBI above the 10, but pulling back, IWM above the 10, and everyone hates it. Carvana, well above the 10, Crocs above the 10. Get my point? It's all still working, but a little digestion because we're going into March OPEX this week and end of quarter, and then anything goes after that. We got a lot of stuff that comes off the board. Oh yeah, BABA is a little bit different. It's a bottom fishing play, but it looks fine. And Celsius, oh my goodness, beautiful. Really gorgeous. Take some profits along the way, but it's still doing fine. I think it's okay. All right, and then this we got a few other questions, and I'm going to go over the ideas chart. Yep, IPO still long, CRISPA trend long. So trend long, but the swing already closed. But it's still, I'm still trying this. Yeah, looks good. VIX is down, but it is above the 10 and 21, which is an interesting little place for it to stabilize here. But we're just chopping. Yeah, it's a kind of trend line. We'll see. Maybe it comes back down to 1385 and turns and moves higher. Patience. Nothing is returning to fundamentals right now. Nope, that just does not exist. AAP has more call buying. Look at the calls in August and in June. They like third point. I'm just saying structure it so you can also be aware that this 200-day, this could get choppy. That's all. If it gets above the 50, beautiful, right? That's basically this kind of 81 area. Shoots up to 100, 110, but I have a really, really hard time believing it's going to get there like a rocket because of that descending. HP has a partnership with NVIDIA. Oh my gosh, probably Costco has a partnership with NVIDIA. Oracle has a partnership with NVIDIA. They all look partnership-like announcements with NVIDIA. GoDaddy AI CEO is selling a massive amount, by the way, of stock as it rises. Massive. Don't look. Crazy Bollinger Band explosion. Yeah. AI search, very, very bullish. Parabola that has not broken yet. A lot of parabolas haven't broken yet. Lots. Tons. Give it another month. Let's see what happens. As long as yields stay in control, I don't see any reason why we've got headwinds. Dollar and yields are still falling. Fiscal dominance reigns. CPI shows higher prices, but a decelerating trend year over year. Month over month, not so much. Hey, Conrad, sorry, did not see this. You, GE, what's your, you said April timeframe. This is a gorgeous trend. So no question about it on a monthly, on a weekly, you got it going on. Gorgeous inverse head and shoulder. Measured move and price target that I had for that swing was 150 and it flew right through it. It is hitting its head on the Bollinger Band and it's softening. I would not be surprised if it comes back down to 150 from 165. And there we will see what it's really made of. The problem is how extended it is. Look at this. The 10-week is down here in the 130 area. The major support, both monthly and weekly, is down here in the 150 area. So you've got 125, 150 is basically a channel where if this breaks, it'll come back in. But otherwise, I'm not really expecting that. Short duration, it looks like you can see it on a daily. Let me go back to a weekly. Here's the weekly, level by level. It's been very bullish, just week after week after week. And these correspond with over here. We're talking 2017 to 2000 no, just all 2017. Crazy. So all these levels gets above 130, heads to 140, gets above 140, heads to 151. And it did. And I thought it would peter out there. Anyway, it got above 151 to 166, tried for 177 and kind of huge expansion bar, and you see an inside week. That's it. Does not mean it's bearish. But it definitely has a little bit of digestion. Here's your level to support, 162. We break 162, we can definitely come back in, get a little bit of a, push down here, but not anything of size here that's happening. Ugh, this is like I'm searching for something. That looks good. 162 and then 157. I don't know if that helps. It's really a very strong one. Archer Daniel Midlands? No, that's farm products, consumer defense, commodities. chemicals, agriculture. Oh, IBM is not, it's, I have talked about this. Tim is already long. I mean, this is stunning. This cleared out. You know how GE is back up to 2017 highs? So is this. Look at this gorgeousness. This is, 2017, it cleared it at 182. We're talking so many years of nothingness. And now it's in AI. And now it's all the way back up to 2014 highs. Yeah, so GE's doing awesome. IBM is doing awesome. And that earnings report was a gap up. Love that. So we had basically the end of the descent was, of course, marked by November Fed pause and Yellen Yahtzee. Everything looked like that. Got above the monthly. That was very bullish. Very bullish. And IBM continued. It got supported. There's the 10-week, my best friend. Okay, then it pushed above and then it had earnings. That was what everyone was like, what? You're doing what? All right, so now it's on the radar with a very, very affordable, IV. It's gone sideways and now it's pushing higher again. So anything above 195 is just bullish. It's very, very old tech is new again. Gorgeous. Yep, I'm with you on that one. Very, very nice. All airlines are down. I honestly didn't see that anything other than bearish news on Boeing, which of course heavily weighted in jets, I get it, and very bullish news on Delta and bearish news on Love. So the combined weighting apparently, I don't know, very, very, very negative. Okay. Okay, NEO. It's sitting above 605. This is Arithika. She does this analysis on NEO really better than most. So I'm gonna and AMD. So I am seeing a bounce, but I don't know how much energy it has to get and really stop going down. But if you're going to use some low risk entry level, it would be 535. That's a monthly support level. So that's not a bad place. The question is, how much can it really get going? So this is a great little area too of a bounce, but how much can it really get going? All right, puts are losing value and calls are getting bid up again in the queues. So we have this call skew that is absolutely, by the way, I don't know if you like selling puts, but it has been the rage since like 2021 as calls are manically bought. It raises the IV and puts get more expensive. So folks are selling puts, which is bullish. And that's exactly what they're doing today. They're literally nailing the combo that I've talked about, which can come in at any time, where they're buying calls. So the call skew is very tilted toward call buying. They're selling calls and they're basically, the strike is rising into those calls and then they have to cover. And that bids up the calls even more when they cover those sold calls, and they're selling puts. It's the crash up scenario. However, I did put that on pause on March 1st, literally wrote that report because I saw this going on. That was incredibly important. So we had that very, very strong advance in gold, and then the Qs just kind of went sideways, right? So this is the result is just we've chopped about. So it it slowed down this crazy move. Yes, I would say IBM is a great chase, swing, or trend time frame because it's so under the radar. Stuff that is low IV is a lot more fun to chase than stuff that has high IV. Okay, relative weakness in the miners. It's not just gold miners. It's all, I'm talking, this is crazy. So when and if Mara gets back above 30 bucks, it's very bullish. But right now the miners are not in good shape. Yeah, not in good shape. In fact, looks like a nice head and shoulders. tougher and tougher and tougher, more expensive to mine Bitcoin, apparently. All right, let's go. I'm going through the questions in QA. Then I want to go over the swing fave ideas list. So far, you got the trend open, right? Everything's green on the screen. You got fave ideas in trend. Mostly, by the way, you have your own, but this is just to kind of, I shouldn't do that. I should show you the home. Yeah, let's show you the home. Oh, what did I do wrong here? Hold on. Rose, okay, got that. Hold on. Before I do the trend and the swing fave ideas, let me just look at something. I got to bring it up anyway. Yep, there we go. Okay, so forget about it. Chases are out of the running. SVXY, as long as it's green, we talked about it. Can't short the market. Dollar yen poking up, but not blowing through the 10-week by any stretch. Gold soft, but not falling apart. We have advanced decline, bullish, still bullish, right? This is the 10-week. Advanced decline of the whole market is bullish. NYSE composite, nothing bearish about that chart. We have got advanced decline of NASDAQ 100. Look at that. Not bullish, not bearish. Look at that 10-week. Gorgeous. Just nothing wrong with that chart. Looks like it wants to break all-time highs. In fact, we've gone sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Now I got 7, 8 weeks since the gap up. Yep. We have literally gone sideways for 8 weeks in NASDAQ 100 advanced decline. This looks bullish, but I still contend gold came in on the first to kind of say, nope, no crash up. And now it's saying you can't stop me. All right. This is breadth advance, cumulative 4-week new high, new low, very bullish. It does not repeat, does not look bearish. And we've got a level up here. There we go. I'm gonna just kind of, I'm trying to get a clean shot here. We're not even there yet. Look at this step higher. This is breadth coming up off the bottom. It's still bullish. It's still bullish. There we go. Okay. Qs are now up 1%. No breakdown. 21-day bounce again. Hood coin. This is resistance 1721. So careful as that rolls over, but they're making money on all this, infusion and money chasing into Bitcoin. So Hood, they still have their problems, but oh, you did ask about that yesterday. So not bad. The miners are doing poorly. Maybe the brokerage for firms for Bitcoin follow suit. It has been a gorgeous though, right? Beautiful breakout. Anyway, point is, all it's doing is shake and bake. You had asked yesterday, and I said it needs to get below this kind of 256.35, and it's starting. So let's see if it continues. Hood, same thing. All right, so I already did Oracle. I just keep checking on it, and the problem is it's not really a bad looking chart. Very, very bullish above all-time highs, and it looks good. Looks more like it's going to digest here. This is the low so far of the day, 124.60. It's a massive gap up, beautiful Bollinger Band expansion. This is resistance, so that's why it's kind of hanging out here. This is pre-market, and you can see 127.42. It's just underneath it, but it's not bearish. just not bearish. Market is just not bearish. We've got a little bit of buying, cumulative buying in NYSE. We've got cumulative buying in NASDAQ still. Bank of Japan, Ueda came out and said, no, 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 no. And maybe they surprise. Market's still bulled up. This is the cumulative in NASDAQ, right? So I said, this is still rising. So, you know, when it sells off, it gets supported. Right now, price dumped, but volume is still here. So this is going to catch back up again. Man, oh man, cannot keep this market down. All right. Shorts are just going to have a really tough time. So here's SPX. Long story short, we got above 5131 and we are now back all the way back up into the range of pushing up even further to that 5189. Above 5130 was bullish, or 5131. Below is bearish, and we clearly got above. Same thing with SPY, anything at 514. For now, where are my little levels here? Huh, that's weird. Got nothing on here. That's weird. All right, doesn't matter. 514. No, I said 5. Where is it? It's weird. Yeah, it looks pretty darn bullish out of a Bollinger Band. It's pushing higher. For some reason, I have no data on this, which is very, very strange, but we know this one. So it got above, period, end of point, 5131 bullish above, or SPY 514. That's what I said, pre-market, and we're there. Oh, another one. Let's go over that. Yes, yes, yes. Let's go over the ideas list. For sure, because some are really working well. AAP, we've already talked about. I want to show it to you, so let me just grab it real quick. Okay, let's put this down. Check any other alerts, anything else. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, that's all fine. SMCI, yep, running. Your JD is doing great. So JD was a really nice one. And then we have some oversold stuff that's popping up, like 3M and like Archer Daniels and K-Web that's trying to continue higher. All right. Good job on your JD. Very, very nice. Meta's not going to work as a short if this is popping up to fill that gap. And then likely continues on to 503.60. You already know how I feel about Google moving up into that trend line. Okay, so get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. And bring over my list. And that list looks like this. Rig long and how long? Before I do that, let me do this. Rig and Halliburton. You know what? I had this as a long swing and then a trend, and it didn't work. So this has a lot of work to prove to me that this is going to come back up. It's got to get back above 591. Halliburton looks better. Yeah, Halliburton looks good above 36. It's coming into a 200-day. Has to get and stay above the 200-day. A lot of these just aren't ready yet. XLE is a really nice continuation. This was it monthly, got above 84.40, and it's slowly marching higher. This is the level it needs to stay above. And big picture, by the way, this is the high, 93.31. Once we get and stay above 93.31, this thing is very bullish. So the problem is there is a big old gap down here at 73. So this is only a swing. It's not a trend, but it's a nice swing. Well, that's an interesting comment. We believe that NVIDIA has to go out on an acquisition spree during the seed phase of companies like Grok, Elon's Grok. These run LPUs and GPUs and do GPT 18 to 20 faster and are competitively priced and are great stock for development. Okay, MDB and COF, and then I want to go over that list. COF is on the trend long list. No, excuse me, swing trend idea list. It's doing fine, really, really well above this 134. Slow, boring, low IV, relatively speaking. They're still chasing it, but no, it looks good. Earnings not until April. Yep, looks really fine. Next level. You can kind of see this 141. Very, very nice. It absorbed whatever sellers were here. Yep, your COF does look very good, Emlyn. And then MDB does not look good. Who's in that? MDB? It only thing it has going for it, this was post earnings, right, is the 50-week. So this has to get back above the 200. I'm not excited about this one. Sorry. Short dollar, I'm with you. Metals, mining, and energy would be a playbook for a Trump presidency. Alexander just said, oh, I didn't catch that one, Alexander. Hold on. Alexander said, love, oh, okay. Love flies only Boeing. Okay, got it. And United also is kind of stuck. Those long haul flights to Europe. Okay, and then we've got BTU. Yep, sadly. I'm gonna wait. It's gonna get above 27, 28. Elliot's gonna be done selling, and someday, still great assets in coal. I still believe in that space, even if it doesn't believe in itself right now. Its money has migrated. Oh, so VKTX, Alex has added back. So remember we said this is really lucky or good. I can't even show you now because it's so messy. Added here as a swing when it started to break out into blue skies at 25.5. Got lucky. That was good. Got lucky with the results of their weight loss program. By the way, we're going to do a webinar not this week, but the following week on all these weight loss drugs. Anyway, long story short, it did a great job, went all the way up to 100. And pre-market, remember, it had the 90, and it kind of digested around and said, careful. We come back inside this 82. We're going to come back and we've got some channels to fill. This is the next logical area for support, right? This is where it literally gapped up. And that was the low of the gap up day. Happened to be 57.56. So you can see support. So let's see if we can keep that support. Anyway, Alex added a little bit. In VKTX, I still think this will get defended, but it has a lot of room, unfortunately, to its 10 weeks. So that is still the risk. So in other words, if you're protecting, you kind of protect to the 48 level, 49, 50 level. And that's just, you can stay long in VKTX, but just remember, you have got some levels here of digestion that's normal. Eli Lilly was a little bit different. It had Alzheimer's, I think, news, and that literally came back down, but it hasn't broken its trend. And Novartis, same thing. They had some data, a little shake and bake, but this is really strong. Anyway, both of these are Alex's on a trend long. I've just got Eli Lilly as a trend long and VKTX out of that on the swing long, and he's adding some more in. Okay. The calls are still very robust for these miners. Yes, I do see that. Oh, I like that idea. Yes. This is a great potential. It is so out of the running, nobody's looking at it. So great, bullish expansion candle off the 400. It pulls back. Here's your 10 and 21. Now they're compressing. It's trying to get above the trend line. I pretty much have left it for dead because it is still going into a descending 200. But if then, right, General Mills looks a little bit like Hershey's, which means they're compressing. Let me just kind of show you. I want to bring this up so I can show you. They're compressing. sideways. One of these days, Alice, it's one of those. So it's sideways. Same thing with Hershey's. Really compressing, compressing, compressing. Maybe this is the left head, right shoulder. That's bullish engulfing. It's above the 200. But look at that 200 day. This is the 200 week. So above the 200 week is very, very productive. But running into the 200 day is not. So I have some issues with this, but they both very similar charts. Look how tight that Bollinger Band is. This is a squeeze waiting to happen. Unfortunately, it's going to get sold as it gets into that 200. So both of those, Hershey's looks great as a bottom fishing play if you're wicked patient. And General Mills, they both look really similar. Yes, I like gold on a bull pack, not Elon's Grok. Oh, Grok makes LPU, GROQ. Sorry, not Elon's GROK. Forgive me, forgive me. BTI and PM. BTI. Ugh. I don't like tobacco companies' charts. They are just horrible. There's got to be I don't even know what you want to put it, an event to put a bottom in these things. Otherwise, they are just descending trend lines and it's short. Unless we can get this to stabilize and move higher, this just doesn't do it for me. The only kind of example I can give is SE. Once we got back down here, not back down. Once we got down here, I did like that Morningstar reversal, right? That worked really well into the 50, and then it had earnings to get it above. And now look at the 200. It's trying to stabilize. It's still going to be a while. If I look at that same kind of chart of BTI, okay, maybe it stops going down, but it needs a reason. I just don't see it yet. Same thing with PM. I know I'm not going to like it as soon as I look at it. Ugh, nope. Nope. Yes, it looks short-term bullish, above 95. I just don't know how far you're really going to get with it. Yep, same thing. Altria's doing the same thing. Big bullish engulfing. I don't know what the news was. Follow through, right into resistance. I really no interest in those. Sorry. Okay, let me go over that list and then, but yes, 409, we know about that. Microsoft is squeezing and it needs to do this. It's got to get above 415. Has to get above 415. Probably doesn't. Google coming into that trend line probably does. NVIDIA? Oh, again, it's going to be look at this. This is just, they're going for it. It's the 900 by 1000. Look at this crazy thing. You spend 20 bucks. I'm swagging this for this week, right? They're 23 and 3, so spending 20 bucks, to move the distance of 1,000 because last time it didn't stick. And now this is supported the 8-day, and now it's getting above the prior handle, and this could go just as quickly right back up. Little squeeze here. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Yep, SMCI is also in that kind of bullish, and AMD's not falling apart. Nope, nope, nope. It still looks really good though. I still like that one as a kind of pair trade. All right, let's go over that. Yeah, and Meta has already made it back up to 500 and is pushing for that 503.60. So now we're back. What do you want to call this? This is just the meme environment that we're in. I had one alert, and I'm going to go over that list real quick. Where CPNG is trying really hard to get above. This looks good. And GPS looks great. That was probably the best let's see, 23. Best trigger, 21, 27, or basically 22, on way to 23. Next is 24, 24 plus. All right, so Google looks like it wants to head up to that 139. Intel still has to break the 45. Oracle digesting the 127.42. TLT sitting on the 200, roughly at this 94.84. Q's absolutely did not want to fall apart and is spiking with the rest of the market intraday. But big picture, it's still not even above the March 1st high. So it's still just a chop fest. JD was probably the best looking chase the other day. Congrats on that. Really nice job, but you got to hold your nose. 28.20, and then we'll see 30, 28 to 30 for JD. You got clearly no breakdown in NVIDIA, but I don't really. All right, let's go over that list. Trends are still just really just way too hot. NVIDIA is a pig. Yeah, so is Micron. All right, the list I want to show you is here. We just kind of all right, so you got trends opened, trends closed, fave ideas, which are awesome. Swings open, swings closed, swing fave ideas, which is awesome. Then you got themed watch list, which basically, remember when I had my dollar short theme in November and I picked a bunch of stocks that looked really, really good, that they would benefit from the dollar weakness? That's your hunting ground. Or the semis. Oh my God, the semis. Or Alex's biopharma watch list, which is not a, which is what he's looking at that are AI related or weight loss related or themes around the cancer, gene editing. Anyway, so it's in here. There's a whole bunch of watch lists, but this is the one I wanted to kind of review. Just a few things that I'm looking at adding, and I haven't yet, but you can see them starting right here. Okay, so you know where that list is, separate from swings open, but I want to go over it. You know where to find it. And now let's take a look. So I just mentioned, or I should say, was asked about Hershey's. I like the look. This is true. Cocoa's crazy. But it is coming into a descending 200. So we really, really need to get and stay above, kind of 208 area to make it up to 213. IP is another one, which has this kind of bottom fishing play. It doesn't quite look ready, but sometimes we can get this kind of reflation trade theme into stocks like this, and I'm keeping them on the radar. I would probably add the General Mills as well, but again, they have a lot of headwinds, so I'm not really so convinced. But anyway, Hershey, IP, General Mills, boring. Actual consumer plays that have to do with things we consume. All right, AAP, I have mentioned this before, like that chart. Now it has third point activism, but it is again a bottom fishing play. One that is not a bottom fishing play is TMO. TMO is the leading stock in its sector of diagnostics and research. It had this resumption higher. It's doing a great job of digesting. So these are ideas, right? They're not perfect. They're not like, wow, I love that. No, they're not. But I like them. I want to keep them on my radar. I want to go over them. So every morning I kind of come in and I'm like, okay, what's happening with Rivian? What happened to Rivian? It had massive June calls. It hit the 21 and it petered out, but it hasn't closed below 1225. It hasn't closed below 1176, but it is below 1274. So it's not ready, right? So that's why I'm going to review them, because I'm looking to see how they're doing. BMY was actually I forget who suggested that. Maybe it was Archana. It did great. And now it's sitting about 53.48, but the same exact problem. It's going to be coming into a 200. Can it go above the 200 and suck in a whole bunch of bulls and then continue lower? Yes. Can it put in a really nice bottoming play that takes a while and then you got some kind of room, let's just say, to at least trade it long into 62? Potentially. But again, these are not my highest conviction. These are fave swing ideas because I'm watching them. All right. Valero, you've heard Brian, he's so in the sector. This should be a position. There's no question about it. But it had some earnings or, some overhang, and the rest of the space has actually done even better. But look at this. Valero, beautiful recommendation. And it is the 147 area. It's pushing higher. Now it needs to get above 152.20. This looks fabulous. We know which one has been the absolute beast, right? MPC. And we know which one has been the absolute laggard, PBF, despite Carlos Slim, despite the April 55 calls that are right here. And by the way, they still haven't taken them off. Nope, they still haven't taken them off. Crazy, huh? All right, so they missed their chance, sort of, kind of. Anyway, it's doing fine, right? So Valero is definitely doing great. XLE, by the way, Valero was recommended on 3-1. Why doesn't it have the amount working? Doesn't matter. It doesn't have a gain, but it's been working. XLE, as long as it got above and stayed above this trend line, also nice. HBI digesting, that's in retail, so it's got a little bit of headwind, but look at GPS. Gorgeous. All right. ABT is healthcare. That has done extremely well. Sherwin-Williams also. Again, I sized up both of these and they're both doing really well. Regret, sure, but I talk about these because they're looking really great, but the options aren't. So I don't like that. If I can't have a way to kind of position and protect, it doesn't interest me. I'm not so crazy about stock only, right? But I know many of you are fine with that. So I find the best looking ones. Qualcomm recommended at the end of February. It's already up 11-12%. It's got great options and they're still coming in. Look at the January 220 calls. I mean, this is just stunning. So yes, for example, I know Tim is long Qualcomm and it's a semi, so the space is doing really well, but this is a really nice continuation swing long idea. TPX got above 50.5 and it's doing great. It's actually in blue skies. It's boring, not a lot of great options. That's the only problem. So, and some of you have asked about these and some of these I found on my own, but eBay, for example, oh my God, that was stunning above 46, blew higher and has continued to go very ballistic. Now it's finally starting to digest and go sideways. So careful on that. That was also February timeframe, right? Yeah, Zoom is a bottom fishing play if we ever get up off the bottom. Very similar to Twilio and Square. So they're basically all three of those. Square, Twilio, and Zoom are trying to get up off the bottom. They're kind of like to watch. But New Holdings is already advanced beautifully, held above the 10. Very boring, but very, very successful financial banking play that was, sizing up, and then it got really above 10. And since 10, obviously, it's up about 10%. GPS is not an industrial engineering construction play. GPS is just a plain old retail, which was actually on my radar since also middle of February, but it just launched today and yesterday. MNDY, why does it say? Healthcare? Yeah, so these sectors are not written correctly. That's for darn sure. Yeah. MNDY is not a biotech. Yeah. It is a Monday.com software app and it's doing fine, pushing into this kind of 240 area. XBI, IPO, I go over these all the time. I still think that they're going to be fine, right? These IPOs, I go fishing. I find some good plays. Right now, biotech is coming back in. Hood and coin were all kind of same time frame. I recommended because of this scoop pattern, and that was back in mid-February, and it's up 22%. Same thing with coin, same idea, and it has done extremely well. But now, careful. Now, careful. Oh yeah, coin is the better one. February 14th. It was recommended 160. It's now up 60%. Yeah, that coin is crazy. Yep, 160. As soon as it got above, beautiful. Inside, I said, don't worry about it. That's just an inside week. Boom. DOCN is a little bit sideways. Hasn't lost money, hasn't really made any. And Croc shouldn't be in there. That's an actual position that's up 15%. Square still waiting on. INGN went nowhere but down. Jemaya went nowhere but up. Carvana, what position up higher beyond, didn't. So still waiting for that one. ENPH is still digesting the 200 with First Solar. They love it when yields fall. So kind of keep that in mind. And right now yields are popping, so it isn't. And yes, Google, I still like big picture, but it fell very, very, very strongly into the 30 week, and now it's trying to come back up. It has not crossed over. It's still not a trend reversal. It really, really has to get back above 138.30. That is resistance. Definitely, definitely bullish above 138.30. And DraftKings really hasn't done anything. Just digesting the 10 week. So there's still a lot. So even, you know, the good, bad, and some that hasn't even registered, like the VLO, but it's doing, that list is doing just fine. All right. Yeah, Twilio took a header on earnings. And I don't even remember the INGN, but it hit resistance and came back in. Not quite sure. All right. Sideways we go. Let's see what happens if we can, we did a really, really nice job so far of getting above 51.31 right back up into the muck. 51.89 is the prior all-time high. 5,200 is definitely the call wall. Dollar a little firmer. Gold is not falling apart, but definitely weak on the CPI. Stagflation, higher prices. Decelerating trend though still. Anything I see, I will let you know, but for right now, nope. Yeah, and we literally bounced. Look at this, look at this. We bounced right into the underside of that trend line like I talked about this morning. So now is going to be the big test tomorrow. So we had a little bit of a turnaround Tuesday with the Qs and with semis, no question about it. Little semi bounce, right? Right into resistance, sideways, shuffle. But that just shows that we just bounced into resistance. We have to get inside that blue line for the Qs to keep going. I don't think so. I think this is exactly that head and shoulders that I, sized up. We came all the way back in this indicator to the November 2021 highs. We came back down in, had a little bounce, had a little trounce. All we did was bounce into the resistance level. We get above, growth will take off. I'm wrong. Qs will move higher. SPY will move into that 5,200 and start to push above. But I don't think so. I think we're still going to have more shake and bake into options expiration end of this week and end of this month. This does not show me strength until I can see this turn, and I mean turn down here, and this gets back inside that trend line. I think this is a bounce that is going to become unwound. Exhaustion. Let's call it exhaustion. All right. I wish you a great afternoon. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.